It's showtime.
Breaking news from the BS and Beer News Desk.
Welcome into the Beer Chaser. Another tough one. I am your host, Dale. With me today, I've got B-Train. What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on?
All good. Saints dropped this game to the Jaguars 31-24. Look, it ended up being closer than I thought it was going to be after that first half of misery.
Yeah. They found another way to break our hearts, man.
Yeah. Exactly. It broke my heart, you know. I kind of feel for Foster at the end of the game there, but you know, it is what it is, man. We're all professionals.
Yep.
So we got to talk about that game. And people got to be held responsible and everything like that. Give me your overall first thoughts here about the game, man.
Well, I think that some of the major issues that have been plaguing them throughout the season, like these miscommunications and stuff, they're not going away, but it looked a little better in the second half. So I think maybe that effort at the end there was just enough to, save someone like Pete Carmichael's job. Yeah. Problem is, we're going to have over a week now, almost 2 weeks, we're going to have 10 days to just kind of sit on this one. And, and it sucks. Don't get me wrong. Somehow it feels a little better than last week's where it really felt like the sky was falling.
Yeah.
I think maybe that little bit of fire they showed at the end was good there, but like, where was that in the first half?
Yeah.
Man? God. And then those drop catches, man, like, I don't know if Carr's throwing them too hard. I know there's, like I said earlier, there's a lot of miscommunications, but like some of those were hitting the receivers right in the hands. And Olave had a number of those. And then of course, Moreau had the one at the end, just super frustrating. Those guys are getting paid a lot of money to make those catches.
That's exactly it. You're all professionals. Got to do your job, baby.
Yes, sir.
Good job.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go through this game. Early on, the Jags marched down on the first possession. In 5 minutes, they scored a touchdown, 7-0 Jags.
Yep. Made it look easy. Made it look too easy. And at that point, I thought we were in for a disaster because I was like, you're going to let them score that quickly, that easily with this guy that supposedly got a bum knee that they got looking like prime Michael Vick out there running for over. In fact, I mean, it didn't start off great for the Saints, but like, look at the rushing. He led the team. He led the team in rushing. What the hell? Right. So whatever, man. But yeah, that first drive, not great.
Yeah. What was your drink of choice?
Oh, yes. Today? Well, I had Craig's going to call me a wimp. I had 3 New Orleans beers already throughout the game. I had 2 Abita pecan ales. It's that time of year. And then I had a kind of out of season, I guess, Mardi Gras thing from Parish Brewing, which was really good. But for now, I'm sticking with the classic Coors Banquet brewed with the purest Rocky Mountain water in Golden, Colorado. If you're ready for it, here we go. That was okay. Whatever.
Yeah.
But this game didn't deserve anything special. So there you go. How about you?
I didn't have anything to drink today. It's been water. So.
Oh my God. Well, I'm extra sorry for you then, sir.
That's right. Oh yeah, we're getting hammered in here by the users on Facebook here.
Yeah.
Talking bylaws. Yes, that's okay. It's okay. We're here though. Okay.
Yeah.
So that nation is still here. Okay.
Yeah, gotta be. I didn't want to be once the clock hit 0, but I took a few minutes and thought about it and I said, hey, that's the right thing to do.
Yeah. Okay. So the Saints get the ball on the first drive. It stalls. That was like that's been a theme of the season. Our drive stall and we kick a field goal. Yep. But this time, Groupie missed it. And hey, it wasn't a red zone failure. So
that's right. Can't.
Groupie had a tough day.
Yeah, but he missed that. And that was a longer one, sure. And he's a little guy, but he missed that one. He made the rest of them, right? I mean, he made
Yeah,
at least three more, and then
yeah, three or four.
kind
Uh-huh.
of snuck in an extra point there that probably could have gone either way.
Yeah.
Um, but after last week, especially, I think that first miss was just brutal for him. So I mean,
Mm-hmm.
hey, he kind of went out there and redeemed himself. He's probably going to be good. He's probably going to be good through this little mini bye because of the other kicks that he ended up making later on. That's my opinion.
Would you bring in some more kickers to work out?
Absolutely.
Kind of scare them again a little bit or something?
Yeah, absolutely, because they have the time to do it. They've got plenty of time. So they could be on the phone tomorrow morning, have guys in the building, and maybe you stick with Groupie, but something's got to change.
Yeah. Okay. Adebo punched the ball out from Kirk, but Saints get the ball. We do nothing with it.
Yep. I mean, you know what? That started a trend there. Like we just owned that time of possession. In fact, I don't even know. Let me see here. Where does it list that? I don't even know. Without looking that up off the top of my head, I felt like we owned them on the time of possession. And kind of early on, we had 3 in a row that ended with just 3 points, and that's ridiculous. And that one right there, it's you kind of slowed the bleeding for Jacksonville, and maybe that played a part in their defense getting tired later on or something.
Overall, time of possession at the end of the game, the Saints led it 36 minutes to 23 minutes. So
that's crazy. That is a crazy difference there in time of possession. Mm-hmm. And then when you look at turnovers and stuff too, I mean, God, I mean, really, game of inches, okay? And there was a few opportunities they had there where this game could have been very different. But yeah, that one right there that you talk about, the Adebo punching the ball out, it was like the offense got all these chances, that then they did absolutely nothing with. Yeah, so embarrassing, not good.
Because speaking of other chances, the Saints punt. And they fumbled the punt, right? And we recover it. Yadam, whatever, did a great job pushing the guy into the return and causing the fumble.
That was great.
We get it, and then we come away with 3.
Oh my God! At least they got something after that whole
points are good
stream of inch. But you get the ball that close on your 3rd attempt,
right?
You gotta score a touchdown. But what I liked about that too was that the guy never called fair catch, but even if he did, it wouldn't have mattered because his own defender was the one that pushed into him. So yeah, that was just nice. That was nice to see. It sucked that nothing better came of that.
Yep. Trevor Lawrence catches us in the blitz. He ends up scrambling for a nice gain. Now he was supposed to be hurt. So what the hell happened here? Like we were fed a bunch of baloney. The hell was supposed to be hurt. He wasn't hurt at all. He was out here running like Mike did. Okay.
I mean,
look, suckered us in. We fell for it.
They got us. They bamboozled us again. But you know what? I've been doing this too long. You and I have been doing this too long. We've been Saints fans. We know that there's nothing that heals a team or a player better than playing the Saints. Mm-hmm. We knew he was coming back before the game. We just knew that was going to happen. And sure enough, he put it up a great performance.
Yep.
That's just how it works.
Yep, for sure. ETN, sweep left, touchdown, 14-3 Jags.
That play, I thought just worked really well against the Saints tonight. For some reason, they were having a lot of success because they did that a few times, and they were just getting a lot of just chunk play after play after play. In fact, actually, when I really think about it in retrospect, it's shocking that the Saints even made it close at the end with which is how effective they were at just tearing us up. And maybe I'm just thinking of that first half, because in that first half, their offense looked really good.
It was nothing good for us really in that first half, man.
Yeah, it was all Jags.
Yeah,
for sure.
Saints go for it on 4th down unsuccessfully. Seems like Carr really only wanted to throw the ball to AK at a large chunk of the game. Okay.
Yeah, but like, it was just AK came to play, man.
For sure.
And so did Taysom. But man, that was about it.
You talking 12 catches on 14 targets for 91 yards for AK. Like it's
that was good.
He loves it though.
Well, and we got too many weapons to not be spreading it around more. But at some point, when you're in like desperation mode and it's an emergency, you have to go with what's working. And Kamara was working today, so they had to do that.
Yeah, you go to your guys for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. Olave drops.
That doesn't narrow it down.
You're right. It sure doesn't. Yeah. But he had a drop, and it led to a groupie field goal. We were deep in opponent territory, and so now we got 14-6 Jags.
Yep. One possession game.
So many drops in the game. I really wish we could find a clean stat line for the drops. Like maybe it's on PFF or something. I really love to see that.
Yeah, we'll have to take a look. But that was a big trend today, and again, in week 7, to me, that I would put up there with the miscommunications. Like it's inexcusable because you've been practicing with these guys. I mean, you had the whole off season, you had preseason. I know everyone else is saying the same thing, but that's the truth. And I know they didn't have a whole lot of time to practice between this game and the Texans game, but like just go out there and play ball, like you're in your backyard, just toss the ball around. No big deal. I mean, like again, some of it looked like he was putting some zip on him, but again, they've been, they've been doing this with Jameis Winston and Drew Brees before that for some of these guys. Like there's no reason why they couldn't make some of these catches that were right there in their hands.
Yeah. The Jags hit a fake punt for a first down.
God.
And it's like that old fake punt versus the Rams.
Oh my God, that was the first thing I thought of.
Send the gunner out there and turn around, boom, first down, easy pitch and catch.
I don't ever see the Saints do that ever.
Right. Right. I don't think we ever tried that play. Yeah.
That was so frustrating, man. Like, how do you let that happen? I don't know.
But they learned from it because I saw later in the game when it was a short distance situation, the Saints went defense safe, which is great. It's not going to happen on defense safe,
No. Well, I mean, later on they were looking for that more, and thankfully they, were able to go up against a few more punts, and even on 4th and inches, there was a couple times where the Jags probably could have gone for it if they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And so lesson learned, I guess.
We got Lattimore with what looks like an interception. Deep in Saints territory, but after review, no interception. Jaguars hit a field goal to end the half, 17-3 Jags.
Yeah, and just like I said earlier, game of inches. That's one of those things where, if they miss that, or if they don't get an opportunity for that field goal there, Saints do something else. You never know. It's potentially a different ball game, but. I can't put that specific one too much on Lattimore because I thought he made a great play to try to get that interception.
Yeah.
But of course the defense in general just kind of screwed up there by letting them get those points late in the because that was at the end of the first half.
Right. In the half.
Right. Yep. Yeah. You can't let that happen.
Saints start off the half with a groupie field goal, and that makes it 17-9 Jags. On this drive, there was a BS holding call on Pete. BS, bro.
It was BS, man. They weren't calling. I don't know. I've had a few beers now, but I don't remember any. I don't remember a lot of penalties against the Jaguars. Okay, there was a few, right? There was a few towards the end, and they had that one I think where they hit Kamara. But yeah, come on, man.
Yeah, Jags had 5 penalties, 42 yards. Saints had 3 for 34 this game.
Interesting. Well, the Saints did just enough to keep me in every time where I kept saying, "Hey, I'm out. I'm done. Yeah. Screw this game."
Right?
They would somehow reel me back in, and that was one of those examples right there when they get that field goal because you're like, "Well, it's still technically a 1 possession game."
Yeah. All right, interception after Carr tried to fit it in over the middle to Shaheed. Return for a touchdown. It's 24-9 Jag. Like right there, I thought that was the nail in the coffin.
I thought so too. I did not think they were going to come back from that. So that later on did make for, a better game. But you look at that right there. If it wasn't for that right there, we're talking at the very least they're going in for overtime, if not being able to kick a field goal to end the game and win it. And if I recall, right, that was him trying to force the ball in, and it got deflected.
Yeah.
Grabbed
What happened?
and ran for a touchdown. So I mean, something's going on there. Whether it's Carr, receivers, I don't know. As a fan, I don't really care. They just need to figure it out. Because
I'm gonna say for sure, communication is a problem. And we've seen it several times this year. We've seen it several times this game. I'm remembering when Carr tried to throw, I don't know, a hitch to AK while he was out wide on the left side, and AK went deep instead. And he turned around and was like, "Yep, that was my fault." For sure, we talked about it on the sideline and everything like that. But still, it's been happening all year. Like, what are we doing at practice? What are we doing?
Not an isolated incident. And I think for all those years that we had Breeze, we were taking for granted the fact that those kind of things would happen every now and then.
Yeah.
But it was very uncharacteristic. Whereas, like with Derek Carr this year, it's been just routine. It's like every drive, there's these things happening. Every single series almost ends with Carr running off the field yelling at somebody, Pete or one of his receivers or somebody. And it's just like, something's got to give, man, because they are not doing their communication at all.
Yep.
That's like some preseason stuff right there.
For real.
Yeah.
So Saints get the ball and they punch in a touchdown.
Yep.
Taysom Hill, 24-16 Jags. And on this drive, there was a lot of no huddle offense, and I thought that kind of got him into a rhythm.
Yeah, it did. This is where I think Pete Carmichael might have saved his job for at least another week, because they did start looking effective. They were gelling, and I think this time of possession starts to play a factor here because the Jags defense is exhausted, and they've had a couple injuries at this point. And oh, by the way, like time and time again, I think over the last like 5 or 6 years, like whenever the Saints are down, like just give it to Taysom. The guy somehow can shift the pendulum on the other way and give you the momentum back. I don't know how he does it. He just does. And what was it? Was that on 4th down or 3rd? It was something crazy when they scored this one, right? Where they had multiple opportunities. Is this?
It was like a 3rd or 4th down play. Because look, we struggled to like do anything. Good Lord.
God, yeah, for real. But it was like
struggling.
But right here is where I started thinking, like, okay, this offense is somehow figuring it out. I don't know how they're doing it, but they're actually making stuff happen now.
Yeah, I want to say that was a 16-play drive.
And I was
16-play drive.
Dude,
definitely was.
I didn't think they were going to score a touchdown. I thought they were going to be content to end this drive with a freaking field goal. I thought that was about to happen, and I was going to pull my hair out. Yeah,
exactly. And the Taysom touchdown was actually 4th and goal. So
that's right. Yeah, that's right. They did it, 3 plays too late, but it did. It worked. So
yeah.
They gave it to the guy, man.
So at this point, after that possession, the Saints stop them.
Yeah.
They got 11 minutes left on the clock. It's 4th quarter. I'm like, oh my God, we got momentum.
That's right.
What is this? And what is this thing here? Momentum.
The crowd was getting into it too. You can tell earlier people were booing, and I was like, at this point, you got to figure some of these dudes are probably trying to beat the traffic, get out of the dome early. But for those that stuck around, it sounded like a lot of them. They were making a difference because they got loud in there. It was exciting.
Yep. So then on this next drive, Saints get called for like a bull crap DPI. Yeah.
It was way over his head. When he threw that, I thought, oh, he's just getting rid of it. Like he's just throwing it away because he's about to get sacked. But I guess
I don't understand refs, man. They never factor in catchability into defensive pass interference. It's part of the rule.
Yeah, and they
You can't ignore that part of the rule.
They talked about it for a minute too. Like, so they had every opportunity to be like, "No, come on, look, that was way over the guy's head. There was, even if they weren't touching him, there was no way he was catching that. Trevor was throwing that ball away. Period. And he got lucky.
Had to be Shaq on a ladder to catch that ball, man.
Yeah, it was for real, man. You have to be pretty tall."
So, but the defense ends up holding them.
Yep.
Stop the Jags on downs. The Saints get the ball, and in 3 plays, they score a touchdown.
Yes.
Oh my God! What the hell?
Yeah. I was like, this is awesome. And I knew that there was plenty of time left, and they had timeouts to where they could either hold Jacksonville, they were going to have time to get the ball back. I wasn't concerned about it at that point. That's when I started feeling pretty good.
Yeah. We got a tie ball game.
Yeah.
But I'm really feeling good now. My optimism is back. Hopium, I've been snorting it.
It's snorting it.
Oh, yeah.
Gimme.
All right.
Yep.
Dude, like we actually hit a 2-point conversion.
And they made it look easy too.
Easy.
That was normally I'm stressing.
Yeah. We've been having all year.
Yep.
And oh my God, we just hit this 2-point conversion like it's nothing.
Yep.
Good Lord, man.
I was feeling so good at this point. Little did I know how quickly that was about to unravel. But yes, I felt very good right there.
Man. Defense stops for the next drive.
Yeah.
And I want to highlight a Debo with good coverage on a deep pass on the sideline. He played it perfectly, turned around, knocked the ball away. Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So, punt deep in Saints territory. Jags get the ball midfield. We got less than 4 minutes left on the clock. So I'm a little worried at this point. It's tie ball game, right?
Yeah, and I think we need to address that punt because I thought Headley did pretty good in this game, except for right there. And that would have been a great punt if the guy didn't just grab it out of the air like that.
Yeah.
But assuming that thing took a bounce, I mean, it was probably going to be like the previous punt where it kept rolling into their territory. But the dude saw that thing. It was just a knuckleball. He snatched it out of the air, and you can't ask for much better field position right there.
Yeah. I mean, we punted deep in our territory for sure, but they get the ball around midfield. I'm guessing it's all right. So
yeah.
All right. They get the ball, and Christian Kirk scores on a 44-yard pass across the middle. You had Honey Badger in coverage. So much yards after the catch there. Simple, short route.
Yeah.
And he just made it happen.
That was garbage, man. Just bad. Everything, like, all around. Like, what a way to just kill all the momentum you've had. I mean, honestly, the defense mostly played okay today, except for, they had that. And then you got to remember 7 of those points were from a pick 6. So, I mean, honestly, the defense did okay, but that was not one of their bright points right there because the coverage was just bad. The tackling was terrible.
Yeah.
And, they let that guy just waltz right into the end zone. That was embarrassing.
Yeah, it was. It was for sure. So then that makes the game, 31-24 there.
Yep.
And Saints get the ball. And we drive down.
Yeah,
we get into scoring range, and that's when we got the deep passing, the deep in the end zone there to Foster, and he just drops it, man, like right off his tips, like he should have caught it. So
yeah, I feel bad for him too because just like if you're like against the Packers, right? It was hard to put that on Groupie when the entire defense completely fell apart and then the offense couldn't do anything. So, it's hard to put it on one guy when something like that occurs. So I feel bad for him because I feel like otherwise, I thought, Foster's been playing pretty good for the Saints and they needed him as a tight end today with all the offensive line changes.
Right.
And I did see that throughout the game. So, I mean, it's like, I can't get too angry at him, but that was really frustrating because I I thought they were working the clock really well on that drive, and I was more concerned with like, hey, don't score too quickly.
Yes,
absolutely.
Absolutely.
But the timing, everything worked out really good, and if he had just caught it there, I thought this game was going to overtime, or hey, maybe DA gets cute and tries to go for 2. I would have been surprised if he tried something like that, but we'll never know.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. So that's the game. 31 to 24 Jaguars. And what did you think about the old line? Because it was kind of pieced together. We had Pete at left tackle. We had Garcia at left guard, McCoy in the middle. Who's the right guard?
Ruiz, right?
Ruiz right guard. Yeah.
And then you had the guy they called up today.
77.
Evans, yours? I forgot his name.
Yeah.
Cam. I'll have to look it up.
I thought he played pretty okay out there on the right tackle.
He's first round draft pick from the same draft that
Cameron Irving.
Irving, that's right. Yeah, Cam Irving. I think he was in the same draft that Pete got picked out of. So another first round pick. But no, I think that should be a big talking point for this week is the offensive line because I think there's probably still some issues there, especially in the first half. But if you all things considered, right, like how this all kind of came together at the last second, I thought they did okay. And as far as like Pete goes, I've kind of always thought that he would, I've always liked him as an offensive lineman. I know he gets a lot of grief, but and I think that left tackle is actually a good position for him. I know they've messed around with that before, and
and that was my thing. We've seen it before, and it didn't work, which is why we drafted Penning. So what do we do now? Like, are you going to keep him at left tackle? I mean, if you were making a decision.
I mean, they've got some time now, so all this weird stuff with the offensive line, it should not have happened. Like this stuff with Penning, that was a head scratcher for everyone because after they had their best game of the year against the Patriots, they bench him. Like it was not good optics. It was not good timing. And then of course he goes right back out there anyway because Hurst got injured pretty quickly on Sunday. So,
but the last game when he actually got back in, he struggled a lot. He was on skates just about the whole game after that. Now, from what I saw from Pete, he struggled sometimes, but it seemed to be better to me.
Yeah. I almost wish we had our resident offensive line expert.
That bomb.
Yeah, he couldn't join us tonight. You got to remember the last time I played offensive line, by the way, at 155 pounds, was 20 years ago. Yeah. So his experience is a little more recent than mine, just because of what else he's doing. But in my very amateur opinion, I thought it looked good today. And if you wanted to, you're hopefully going to get some guys back after this mini bye. But in my opinion, it would be best to take it on the chin and tell Penning, like, hey, we're going to put you back out there, and just hope that you're continuing to see improvement because I feel like he has improved. And offensive line is one of those positions where when you draft a guy, especially early on, a lot of the fans get upset about it. It's never a sexy pick. It's never super exciting. And I feel like a lot of people don't realize that offensive linemen typically take the longest to develop in the NFL. And you got a guy that didn't play at all, really, hardly at all last year. And he was showing improvement this year. So if you want to consider that like a red shirt, freshman year, he's been showing improvement. So it was just kind of weird to bench him, especially if we have depth issues anyway. So that's what I would do. But at this point, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if they kept Pete on the left side.
Yeah, I'd probably go ahead and keep Pete at left tackle. From my untrained eye, Garcia looked fine at left guard. I'd probably keep him there too.
They looked okay. I think they struggled in the first half, but I think that the offense looked okay in the second half.
Mhm.
And I think they were giving a lot of tight end help, especially on the left side. I noticed that.
Mhm.
Not so much on the right side, but again, you only have, you can put Jimmy Graham out there, who has actually surprisingly done well at blocking this year. Weirdly, at this point in
Right.
his career, but that's you're only getting so many snaps out of him. Um, so
I will say Cam Irving has to stay on the active roster. You can't leave him exposed. If that means cutting Landon Young, so be it.
yep,
I've seen nothing from Landon Young besides I'm injured. So
yes. Yeah,
there
and,
you
and he
go.
looked fine today, considering they elevated him
Hmm.
today.
Hmm.
And I think they didn't even sign him until recently, right?
He may have been on a practice squad. I'm
Maybe.
not sure.
Yeah, I mean it wasn't as bad as God, what was it, 2 years ago when they played Miami, and there was guys in the locker room getting their
Yeah.
jerseys stitched up, and
Right. Yeah. It
because
wasn't that
they
bad.
were signed that day. That was just awful.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like that. They got to figure it out on the offensive line, and I did think that today was a little better than what we saw against Houston, for what it's worth. But they do
Yep.
have some time to kind of figure that out.
So
And yeah, go ahead.
let's wrap this up with player
Sure.
of the game. Like, who would you give your player of the game to on offense and defense?
On offense, I got to give it to Kamara. I'm going between Kamara and Hill.
Okay.
I think Kamara overall was just single handedly carrying this team on his back, kicking and screaming. And if they had used Taysom just a little bit more than they did, which was a lot, I might have given it to him. But I would say Kamara on offense. Defense, gosh. Maybe Granderson, I thought, looked pretty good out there.
Mm-hmm.
There was a couple guys. There was a lot of guys making plays, man. And it was nice to have DeMario back. But if I had to make a choice right now, just gut instinct based on what I saw the last few hours, I give it to Granderson.
I'm going to agree with you on both of those. It was hard for me to pick defense. I thought Werner would have had a better game than he did, considering DeMario was kind of hobbled out there, and was iffy to even play the game. So I expected a bigger game from him. I didn't see that from him. So yeah, Granderson is the guy that always seems to leap out. Maybe a Debo because of his coverage back there. So
well, I thought about that. He looked good, and he had that fumble early on. But man, Granderson, he went and he earned the bag, man, and he's been balling out since then. And I noticed that even today still. So,
you know what? I'm gonna give it to Colin Saunders.
You read my mind.
He played offense.
Well, I thought during the game look, man, I've been drinking, but I thought he was offensive line to the Dave or someone pointed out that no, he was a fullback.
Yeah.
And I was like, whatever, man. I don't got time to pay attention to this, but yeah, that was awesome. By the way, I was like, but at first I kind of took that as like an indictment on the O line. I was like, how bad is our O line that we're pulling a defensive lineman in here to do it? But yeah, he got it done. That was cool.
Yeah, look, that's the first time I ever seen the Saints really do it. I've seen it around the league for years.
Pete Carroll had that genius idea with the Seahawks a few years back, and it didn't really work, but they did try converting defensive linemen to offensive linemen. But yeah, that fullback action, love to see it.
Yep. All right, man. Well, hey, that's gonna wrap it up for us here on the Beer Chaser. Tough loss, but let's see what we can do during this mini bye, and predictions about Pete Carmichael. Is he going to be the play caller next week or not?
Well, I think so, but at the same time, look, they benched Penning, and I didn't necessarily see that coming. So I wouldn't be shocked if Dennis Allen, in a desperate move, tried to make some big plays like that. I don't think we're going to see someone like Gruden come in, but they've got a little bit of time now, and they've got to make something try, because now they're 3-4. They started the season out 2-0. They're 3-4 now. They can still make something happen in the NFC South, and there's still a lot of time left. The patience is running thin. I do expect we will see some changes, whether that's coaching, players. The next time this team comes out, there will be something that's at least slightly different.
Okay. I'm going to say there won't be a change in the play caller. I think the fourth quarter kind of saved his job. And we're going to have more of this, and we're going to talk about it again next week.
Well, we're fans, so we have to be. I can't turn this off,
Yeah. That's right. All right. Well, we'll see y'all next week. Hopefully we can make some decisions and come away with a win next time. And, things start turning around for us. It's starting to get rough, y'all. So everybody hold your heads up. It's going to be better. It's going to be better, y'all.
Better days ahead. Let's go. Who dat?
Who dat?
Remember to follow us on social media at BS and Beer Media. Also, smash the like button on YouTube and share with friends.